Hello everybody, welcome to a new series on drag and drop API in React.js. So in the next few episodes, we are going to explore the main use cases of the drag and drop API by building some projects. So in this first episode, we are going to see how we can use this API for dragging and dropping files. In the next episode, we are going to see how we can drag and drop elements in the DOM by building a sortable list. Let's get started. So here I have created a simple React application, and I have already created some styles to make our application look nice. So I'm trying to center the container using Flexbox. Now let's go ahead and create the component we are going to use for the drag and drop functionality. And now I am going to import and render that component. So here I'm going to create a component using functional component. I'll use arrow functions. So our component is going to use the state for storing the files. So I'm going to import the useState hook from React. Then I will go ahead and declare the file state with a default value of null. So here for rendering, we're gonna do conditional rendering in our component. So if we have selected files, we will display the name of those files, but if we don't have any files, we will display a div. This div would basically be the drop zone where a user can drop files. So inside this div, we are going to have a button that a user can also click and select files the traditional way. Let's give the div a class name of container so that we can style it in CSS. So now let's head over to the CSS and style our drop zone. I'm gonna use Flexbox to center everything in this div. I'm also gonna give it a dashed border. I will add padding as well. Now let's go ahead and style the button to make it look a bit better. Now that everything is looking cool, we can now move on to the logic of our application. So since files are going to be dragged and dropped in the drop zone div, we are going to have two events. The first event is going to be the onDragOver event, and we will assign this to a function. We will create this function in a second, and also the second event is going to be the onDrop event. We will need to create two functions that will handle the drag and drop functionalities. Both functions are going to have the event as an argument. So when we are dragging files, we are simply going to prevent the default behaviors by calling event.preventDefault. If we don't prevent the default behavior, the drag and drop feature is not gonna work. So when files are dropped, we are also going to prevent the default behavior by calling event.preventDefault as well. So now let's console log this event and head over to the browser. Let's try to drag in some files and see what we are getting. And as you can see, the event is an object with different properties. So here, if we look at all properties we have, there is the data transfer property, and this is where we can access the files. So let's head over to the code editor and try to update the state with the files. Now I want to show you how to make this select button work. So we're going to create an input field and set it type to file. We will also set the multiple property so that we can select multiple files at once. For the onChange event, we will simply use the set files function to update the state with the event.target.files. So to make things look good, we are going to make the input field hidden, and then we will trigger it with the button click. So for this to work, we'll need to create a reference to this input field. So we're gonna use the useRef hook. For the button, we will handle the onClick event with a function that will click the input field. So now if we head over to the browser and test this button, you will see that everything works just as intended. So when the user has selected some files, we don't want to show the drop zone anymore. We want to show the name of the selected files. So by default, the files are stored as file list object, so we cannot use the map function. So we will convert these files into an array and use the map function to loop over every file, and then we're gonna return the file name within the list item element. I would like to have two buttons. One button will be the cancel button. It will simply reset the state to null when clicked, and the second button will be the button that you would ideally use to send these files to the server. So I'm not gonna get into the actual uploading files section, so it's beyond the scope of this video. Anyways, if you wanna learn how to send files to the server, let me know in the comment section. Alright guys, this is the end of the video. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one.